I'm Tiffany. Standing in my office, I clutch a burner phone in my hand, my knuckles white from the force. The room is filled with a tense silence, broken only by the soft hum of my computer as it transfers the critical files from the deep archive. Outside, the headlights of two cars cut through the darkness, casting long shadows on the driveway. I know who's coming: my husband, Ethan, and his sister, Lily. Just a short while ago, my world was on the brink of collapse. I was hours away from the deadline of my career-defining project, a competition that could have catapulted my small architectural firm to new heights. I had been pouring my heart and soul into it for the past 3 months, working day and night, fueled only by caffeine and the fear of failure. My home was my sanctuary, a place where I could focus without distractions. The low hum of my workstation was the only sound, a constant reminder of the progress I was making. But then, everything changed. It was a typical evening. Ethan was at his weekly poker night, and I was deep in the zone, lost in the world of architectural renderings and structural calculations. The digital model of the project floated on my screen, a beautiful and intricate design that I had created with my own 2 hands. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was a sharp, cheerful chime that shattered the quiet. I froze, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Who could it be at this hour? I ignored it, hoping they would just leave a package on the porch. But the bell rang again, more insistent this time, followed by a loud knock. Reluctantly, I saved my work and got up to answer the door. Peering through the peephole, my blood ran cold. It was Lily, grinning from ear to ear, and behind her was Ethan's entire family: his brother, Jake, their 2 noisy kids, and their parents. They were all carrying coolers, bags of snacks, and a portable karaoke machine. I opened the door a crack, trying to convey my disapproval with my body language. "Lily, what are you guys doing here?" I asked, my voice filled with disbelief. She pushed the door open, forcing me to step back. "We were just talking about you, Tiffany. Ethan mentioned you've been working non-stop for weeks. We came to give you a party to help you relax." I stared at her, dumbfounded. "Lily, I have a deadline. It's the most important deadline of my career, and it's in less than 12 hours. She waved her hand dismissively. "Oh, stop being so dramatic. A little break will do you good. You need to have some fun." I pleaded with them to leave, but they just laughed at me, thinking I was being a killjoy. Jake started plugging in the speaker, and the kids ran through the house, leaving sticky fingerprints everywhere. Ethan's mother, Rose, headed straight for the kitchen, saying she would organize the snacks. I was desperate. I grabbed my phone to call Ethan, but Lily snatched it out of my hand. "No work calls, and no calling the fun police," she said, giggling. "This is a surprise for Ethan, too." I backed away into my office, feeling like I was in a nightmare. I tried to focus on my work, but the loud music, the shouts of laughter, and the chaos outside made it impossible. I put on my noise-canceling headphones, but I could still feel the vibrations of the bass. Then, the smell of burning filled the air. I ripped off my headphones and ran out to find that one of the kids had overcooked the popcorn. As Rose fanned the smoke detector, Jake, in a moment of sheer stupidity, decided to unplug the power strip next to the karaoke machine to make room. That power strip was connected to my entire workstation. Back in my office, all my monitors went black. The low hum of my computer died, and a profound silence fell. I knelt down beside my desk, my heart sinking as I saw the unplugged power cord. My 3 months of hard work, thousands of hours of dedication, were gone in an instant. I tried to restart my computer, but it was too late. The project files were corrupted. I told them what had happened, but they just didn't understand. Lily said I could just do it again, as if it was that simple. I was filled with rage. I told them to leave, but Lily refused. She said I was overreacting and that Ethan always said I was too stressed. She even suggested that I should quit my little hobby and focus on being a wife. That was the final straw. I knew I had to find a way to save my project. I remembered the off-site server, a secondary archive that my firm maintained. But to access it, I needed two-factor administrative approval, and one of the administrators was Ethan. Ethan was at the poker game, and he never answered his phone during the game. I called his best friend, Max, who was also at the game. Max told me that Ethan was in the middle of a big hand and that he'd call me when he was done. He also said that Lily had texted the group chat, painting me as a hysterical woman having a meltdown over a computer glitch. I felt betrayed. Ethan had chosen his poker game over my desperate pleas for help. But then, I noticed Lily's purse on the kitchen counter. She had forgotten it in her rush to leave. I opened it and found her phone, which was unlocked. On her phone, I discovered a group chat called Operation Save Tiffany. It was a premeditated plan. Ethan had complained to them about my work, framing my ambition as a problem that needed to be fixed. They had planned this surprise party to disrupt my work, thinking they were doing me a favor. I was furious. But I also saw an opportunity. Lily's phone was logged into the family's mobile carrier account. I quickly initiated a SIM swap for Ethan's phone, reporting it as lost or stolen. I transferred his number to a burner phone I had in my desk drawer. With the new number, I was able to receive the two-factor authentication code for the server. I entered the code, and to my relief, I gained access to the deep archive. The core of my project was safe, although I had lost a day's worth of work. Just as I was starting the file transfer, I heard the sound of cars pulling into the driveway. Ethan and Lily were here. I walked to the front door, holding the burner phone. When Ethan saw me, he looked surprised, his face a mask of feigned concern. "I know what you meant to happen, Ethan," I said, my voice cold. I held up Lily's phone, showing him the group chat. "And I know you're here because you think I've had a psychotic break, not because you care about my project." He stared at me, his eyes wide with shock. "What did you do?" he asked. I held up the burner phone. "Your phone number now belongs to me. I saved myself." Lily got out of the car, her face full of anger. She demanded her phone back. I let them into the house and sat them down. I told them about the group chat, about how they had conspired against me. I explained that I had locked them out of their digital lives and that I was taking half of the liquid funds from our joint savings account as compensation for the damages they had caused. Ethan was in disbelief. "You can't do that. It's illegal," he said. I tilted my head. "Is it? Or is it asset protection? You deliberately created a situation that cost me my work and my reputation." I then told Lily that she had to text her family and admit her mistake, and that she had to pay for a professional cleaning service to clean up the mess they had made. Reluctantly, Lily typed the message, and Ethan transferred the money. They left without another word, and I was finally alone. I sat down at my workstation, looking at the damaged project files on my screen. I knew it would be a long and difficult night, but I was determined to finish the project. I put on a pot of coffee, tied my hair back, and started to work. The anger and betrayal fueled me. I didn't just restore the lost work, I made it better. I worked through the night, fueled by caffeine and a sense of purpose. At 7:45 a.m. 15 minutes before the deadline, I hit submit. I didn't win the competition, but the firm that won offered to acquire my company. They were impressed by my grace under pressure and my last-minute design innovations. The offer was more than I had ever dreamed of. I sold my house, filled with too many bad memories. Ethan filed for divorce, a quiet and uncontested affair. I heard through the grapevine that Lily and Jake were having problems. Secrets have a way of coming out. Now, sitting in my new minimalist city apartment, overlooking the skyline I helped to shape, I often think about that night. They called it Operation Save Tiffany, but in reality, they saved me from a marriage that was holding me back. I've learned that sometimes, the greatest challenges can lead to the greatest opportunities.